Good morning. How are you guys? Good? Okay, that's not good energy at all. Good morning. That's better. All right, we're here to talk about your future, about practice. No, this is not fourth year. This is not the business class, so relax. I'm sure all of you are frantically working on your business plans, of course, which you started in September and not last week. I know it was last week. But let's shift gears a little bit today. We're here to hear from some amazing chiropractors who have taken time out of their busy schedules to share with you their life experiences and what happened after they graduated, okay? So welcome. This is the 2016 Practice Realities Panel Discussion, and it is hosted by the Ontario Chiropractic Association, so I'm really honored and happy to be moderator here today. We know that this is an exciting time for you guys. You're about to graduate, lots of decisions to be made, and our panel is going to share some insights with you on what life is really like as a practicing chiropractor and how a patient-centered approach will serve you well throughout your career. We have today on our panel Dr. Hilary Allen, Dr. Scott Wilson, and Dr. Sarah Simison. These chiropractors have a wide range of experience, from just over 5 years to 20 years, over 20 years. They are associates and practice owner-operators, and they represent a wide range of approaches and practice styles. So the insights they'll share with you today should be relevant, real, and hopeful. Just an overview of our event today. Our session today will last 90 minutes. You will first hear real stories, real life stories from our panel. They'll tell you about themselves and the best day they had in practice and their experiences in practice. They will also speak about overcoming challenges, because it's not always fairy tales and unicorns. There are some challenges out there, and they're going to talk to you about some key takeaways that they learned from this. I will then host a Q&A session. So we're going to ask a range of questions about how to build a practice, how to remain patient-centered, and we'll talk about mentorship and collaboration. And then finally, this is where you guys come in. We will have an audience Q&A, and this will be your turn to ask questions. You can raise your hand, or if you're a little shy, well, I know you guys, no one's really that shy in here. But if you are, you can write your question. There should be a piece of paper on your chair, and please pass it down to Natalie, who's from the OCA. She's right here at the front, and she'll pass that on to me. And so hopefully we'll have a good, robust Q&A session. So I'd like to introduce you now to our panelists. So we have Dr. Hilary Allen. She's a chiropractor and co-owner at Coburg Orthopedic and Sports Injury Clinic. She earned her Doctor of Chiropractic degree from CMCC in 2004, following her honors Bachelor of Kinesiology degree from McMaster University. Shortly after graduating, Dr. Allen began working at the Active Therapy Clinic at the Granite Club in Toronto. While there, she treated a wide variety of patients, including Olympic medalists and national champions in the affiliated elite figure skating program. In 2007, she moved to Coburg and opened Coburg Orthopedic and Sports Injury Clinic with her husband, who's a physiotherapist. Since then, the clinic has grown to include 11 practitioners. The clinic offers physiotherapy, chiropractic, chiropody, massage therapy, pelvic health, acupuncture, shockwave, ART, occupational therapy, custom bracing, yoga therapy, Pilates, and personal training. That's amazing. Dr. Allen's team focuses on individualized care and evidence-informed practice to promote efficient and effective health care. She works to balance her clinical practice with the demands of running a business. Dr. Allen enjoys mentoring students interested in pursuing healthcare-related careers and participating in community events, fitness classes, yoga, and running. So please help me welcome Dr. Allen. Dr. Allen, would you like to do a brief intro, some key points, what you were expecting from today?
The way we sorted our practice, you kind of gave the background of where I worked and that kind of thing, but the big thing for me in the way we do our practice now and how I started it, my associateship that I did at the Granite Club, It was my second associateship, actually. My first associateship was a nightmare. I started working for a guy. I met him at an ART course. He was an ART instructor. Thought, oh, this is going to be amazing. He was looking for an associate. Within a week of me getting there, I realized that he didn't chart and keep documentation on anyone, except there was some random blank pieces of paper all over the office. And it didn't last long, because I just wasn't ready to do that after learning everything at CMCC. But then I quickly got into this associateship at the Granite Club, and it was awesome because it really mirrored kind of what I wanted my practice to be like. I had a mentor. She was female. She ran a great business. It was a really similar approach to what I wanted. And it was a really great start. And then moving to Cobourg, to a smaller community closer to home, family and friends, that kind of stuff, we were able to mirror that and really have a good step forward and understand what we even wanted out of a business. I see about 20 to 25 patients a day. It's not a high volume practice. I spend 20 minutes with every patient for treatment, 60-minute assessments. I'm honest. I focus on education, on exercise and healthy living, and it's evidence-based, but that doesn't mean there's not room for things like maintenance care and wellness care and that kind of stuff. My approach is to provide a thorough, high-quality interaction from day one and create a relationship with the patient and where they trust you, and you move forward from there.
Great. Thank you very much. Sounds like a great practice. Our next panelist is Dr. Scott Wilson. He is the chairman and CEO of PhysioMed. Also a CMCC graduate, Dr. Scott Wilson has been practicing since 1994. He is the chairman and CEO of PhysioMed, one of Canada's largest and fastest growing franchise networks of interdisciplinary paramedical health clinics. PhysioMed clinics offer physiotherapy, chiropractic, chiropody, naturopathy, and massage therapy, and more, with over 30 locations across Southern Ontario and Western Canada. PhysioMed has a dedicated team of hundreds of highly skilled healthcare professionals from over a dozen disciplines working to improve the health and wellness of Canadians. This team includes a number of CMCC graduates who have been personally mentored by Dr. Wilson and who now own and operate their own PhysioMed clinic. So please help me welcome Dr. Scott Wilson.
Thank you. First, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. This is a great opportunity. I remember going to practice opportunities when it just started in the 93, 92. I don't even know if it was called practice opportunities. And it's really evolved into something special. So, I commend all of you for being here today. I think one of the key takeaways for myself, I started in typical, back in 94, a lot of guys just went out and hung their shingle. That really was what it was. There wasn't a lot of interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. In fact, there was really limited multidisciplinary type practices. So really you just went out there as a chiropractor and, spoke the gospel and focused on what you learned here to run a successful practice. Over time, what you learn, especially as a student, I find that most of you, being in fourth year, or if there's some that are not in fourth year here, you become quite, I don't want to say selfish, self-centered, because really everything has to be around you. Complete your numbers, get out, and get on your own. But what you really have to learn, the success in practice, is really being selfless, helping. And you have to listen to a particular radio station, WIIFM. Does anybody listen to WIIFM? Anyone? No? You haven't heard it? No? It's the what's in it for me dial. So remembering that when you're speaking with patients and speaking with anybody, as much as you want to bestow education, you want to tell them everything you've learned, what's important is having really good listening skills, be purposeful and relevant in your discussions with not only how a patient presents with a chief complaint, but then being able to transcend that into wellness type care like we were just talking about, into what's important to the patient. Because they're coming in there really thinking what's in it for me. And it's going to be a hard jump. Young students, student debt, a lot of things on your mind, pressures. You're thinking about, how am I going to make it? What am I going to do? I can tell you, if you put your patients first, understand that in their head, they're going to be thinking, well, what's in it for me to be sitting here and giving my time? You have to be very, very purposeful, and like I said, and very, very relevant to making a difference in all of your patients' lives. That is so, so very important. And if you take that with empathy and help, you'll all be a wonderful success. Everything else will cascade out of that. But if you go into any kind of situation with a patient and you're not listening and you're only thinking about what's in it for you, I can promise you you're going to struggle. So please take that as a key takeaway. And empathy is always important. You have to build that up and understand where someone else is coming from. Because remember, as much as time will go on, business, money, stresses, the most important resource that people are going to come to you with is their time. And what you don't realize is when someone's coming 3 days a week and trying to find a place to park and walking in and waiting in your room and maybe not getting a smile from staff, these are the little things that make a huge difference that you really need to make sure are highest on the list in a patient experience, because they're putting a lot of time out to see you. So always remember that.
Great advice, thank you. Is that really a radio station? WI, really?
I do a little DJ on that.
Oh, I see. Cool. Yeah. All right, thank you, Dr. Wilson. So our next panelist is Dr. Sarah Simison. She is an avid trail runner, cyclist, a newbie mountain biker. How cool. An aspiring triathlete and a hopeful Iron woman. Amazing goal. She graduated from CMCC in 2010 and began practicing as an associate in Oakville. For the first 4 months, she worked as a locum chiropractor while the owner of the clinic was on maternity leave, while also building her own practice. A year later, she moved to Whitby and became an associate at Peak Health and Wellness, where she has built a strong practice which offers her the flexibility of working close enough to home to walk to work. That's awesome. Dr. Simison integrates acupuncture, ART, and Graston into her chiropractic treatments. She treats a variety of patients, including family practice, triathletes, runners, pregnant women, and babies. She uses a variety of educational approaches with her patients and promotes her involvement in their own care. Dr. Simison is currently 4 months pregnant. Congratulations. Oh, 5 months now. Excellent. And is reflecting on her experience as a locum as she prepares for 4 months of maternity leave. Only 4 months. That's it. She is looking forward to sharing her insights on the hurdles of initial practice setup, the pros and cons of being an associate in a multidisciplinary practice, and the steps she took to build a strong, successful practice. So please help me welcome Dr. Sarah Simison.
Hi, thank you. For me, if you have any questions about finding the right associateship, because I had 2 good ones, but there are some horror stories out there. That's kind of where I might come in to help today. The beginning of my practice was sort of deciding whether or not to stay an associate or go out on my own or start from scratch, things like that. And it took me a few years to figure out where I wanted to sit. And it came down to my simplistic view of what is success, and for me that's, am I happy day to day? So my view of success is, am I happy today? Am I happy tomorrow? Do the happy days outweigh the unhappy days? And that's kind of across the whole part of my life, not just my practice. And so I realized that walking to work, not necessarily being responsible for the operations of the clinic, being on the hook for those sorts of things was where I was finding my happy. So for now I'm happy to stay an associate. I have a great clinic, the owner's fabulous. Everyone in the clinic works really well together, so it would be just too hard for me to leave that and walk away. But for everyone, I think that takes a little time to jig. Most of you are trying to figure that out right now, most likely. Some of you know for sure, and you're going to go straight at it like an arrow, and some of you have no idea. So for me, I looked at happiness as, are my patients happy and healthy? That's kind of my practice happy. Are they, and how you know that is if they refer you patients. If you're getting referrals on a regular basis, your patients are happy with you because someone's said that they brought your name up. They've said, she's great. She's the one that's going to help you out. Trust me, she's great to talk to. Go see her. Am I happy and healthy? Clearly, my health is important as from my bio. I like to be outside, I like to play. I have a 10-pound dog who jogs with me and chases my mountain bike, so, he's healthy. And then the other part is just for key message. This is a small, small world for professionals, so your integrity, that's pretty much number one. I mean, we sat through a lot of ethics classes here, and I remember kind of thinking, this is a lot of ethics classes, and it seemed a little bit redundant. And then you start practicing, and it's all on you. You don't get to leave the room and ask Dr. Azad how to treat the patient. You have to leave the room and kind of like shake it out and go back in, pretend there was a reason you had to leave. So, you're gonna do it, trust me. So, like how you carry yourself day to day, not just in practice, but outside in your community, how you involve yourself, that integrity and how people view you as a person matters. How you treat the lady at the Tim Hortons matters. How you interact with anyone that you employ or that is your employer or your patients or their kids when they bring their kids to their appointment, that all matters. People notice those small things. So for me, that big message is that, technology has taken over the world and bad news travels fast. So you don't want that bad news to be about you. You want your name to be like associated with someone good.
Great, thank you very much.